Hi, this is Bob Barron talking to you on a cold December day in Southern California. That's a duffel bag you're looking at. Well, there's also a ladder behind it and a chair, but that's a duffel bag. And right here is a map of Fort Ord. I just wanted to share a few more ideas about Fort Ord. I don't know if these are going to be my last ideas. I put a couple of things on my YouTube about it. But I really just have so many memories of that, and I don't know. There's probably a couple of thousand other people who looked at my little videos about Fort Ord, so there is some interest. But you know what? I wanted to share the duffel bag because I was drafted in 1958, and then 1960 I was mustered out, as they say, at Oakland Army Base, and I don't remember the exact day. It was towards the middle of December that particular year. But you know, I was when you're let out of the service more or less from active duty, and of course all this stuff is packed in this duffel bag. And honestly, it was packed and it was sent home, which is where it is. This is my garage here where I'm living, but it was sent to the house all those years ago, and I've not used this stuff since. It's been here a long time, but I just wanted to kind of look at it and maybe show some of you who've never been in the military some of this stuff. Well, this is what they call the Class A uniform you wear. You know, the dress uniform. I don't know if maybe I wore this hat a couple of times when I graduated from basic training. Again, that would be at Fort Ord. And under that, on the very top, what do we have? Oh, newspapers. yeah. Well, you know, I guess these would have to be from all those years ago. I think so, a long time ago. And so what's on the top inside? Well, boots. Army boots. I guess that's pretty much important stuff, right? We had, these are heavy shoes, and I think they're still in pretty good condition, actually, but they have some wear. What do we have? Well, we have two pair of those, right? And I remember that when we got these, they actually were, I think they were brown. We had to make them look black because that was the official color, you know, so we had to put black on these things to make them look like that. Yeah, two pair of boots, and yeah, they've been worn. You can tell the heels are worn down. Because that's mostly what, you know, you don't have a dress uniform. Mostly you're wearing fatigues, you know, we're in the service. More newspapers. Well, long johns, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure it was cold when they sent me over to Germany. You know, that was cold country. More of it. Okay. I'm just kind of, you know, I haven't unpacked this thing honestly in all those years. That was, how many years ago was that? Gee, it's a long time ago. Really? Wow. Long time ago. Yep, every piece of clothing has a number on it, my number, you know, and a lot of stuff is interesting just to remember. When I was stationed in Germany, you know, we could put all kinds of stuff into the laundry. We didn't wash it, somebody else did that for us. You paid for it. My memories, it was like 4 cents a piece, whether that was a sock or a shirt, so we had, you know, everything could be washed for about $1, I suppose. What else is in here? Oh my goodness, well, fatigue pants. Gosh, still in good condition, I'd say. Yeah. I must have been way bigger then, right? I'm afraid I've been shrinking. Oh, was I that big? Good grief. Well, oh, I know. We tucked them into our boots. That's why they had to be so long. My fatigue. But anyhow, so I hadn't looked at this stuff all those years, but they told us take it home because I had 2 years of active, but I had a 40 obligation for the reserve. So yeah, you saved this stuff. So I still got it. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is it was important. What I learned at Fort Ord and the years I spent in the service, a little bit, well, it's 2 years actually, and then of course some of the reserve stuff, that was an important part of my life. And so that's why I have said a couple times with these videos I put on my YouTube channel is that I think that Fort Ord should have been made a National Historic Site. Now, I have the map of Fort Ord behind me here, at least what it is like today, just to show you. Part of it has become Fort Ord National Monument, which is really a big piece of land. And this kind of a, if you can see this kind of a pink color here, this is actually a university now. That's Cal State University of Monterey Bay, and I think I put part of that on my website. And this, I put this on there also. This is where our rifle range used to be along the coast. That's now a state park, very pretty. And I guess so just check that stuff out if you want to look at my YouTube stuff about that. But there also are still some old buildings here, you know, in this place, and I show that on I think my more recent video about Fort Ord. And I'll tell you what really got me to even want to tell you anything else was because I have the paper that says Proclamation 8803, Establishment of the Fort Ord National Monument. It's dated April the 20th, 2012, and it's by the President of the United States of America because that's who can make something a national monument. And so there's a proclamation about it, why it's important, etc. But one line which really caught my eye here is it's in the third paragraph. It says, the former Fort Ord has few remaining historic structures. Now, who in the world could have written that? And I don't want to say too much about it, but I can't believe someone could say that because if you look at those videos, you can see there's something still there. And in my mind, they're really, really historic because a couple of million people had training in that place. And to me, that's part of history. And why would you not want to save it? Well, I guess the point again is if you ever get to Fort Ord or you have an interest in that place, talk to somebody, because I've been talking to people, you know, both at the university, at the National Monument, because I just think it's an important part of history. Before those buildings either fall down or get destroyed, I think they should do something with it. That's why I'm really doing that. And I pulled out something else. I have so much stuff from my Army days. This is the Soldier's Guide. And, you know, there's a lot in this little book with, gosh, it's almost 200 pages. But, you know, it tells you about how you be a soldier, you know, how you have to wear the uniform, etc. But it also talks about what it means to be a soldier. I mean, really, what are we really yakking about? Well, you're part of the United States of America. Of course, that's the Army I was in. And so I don't know how to talk about it in these days, especially because we have a volunteer Army these days, and I was drafted, as was my brother, for World War II. But I guess the point again is just wanting to share these last few ideas with you. I think that Fort Ord still has some stuff on, you know, left standing, those buildings I showed you, and I really think should be made part of a National Historic Site. As I mentioned earlier, the Manzanar, which is where they interned about 15,000, I believe, Japanese Americans during that World War II, that has made a National Historic Site, and they spent, I would say, millions of dollars to rebuild some of the barracks and the mess halls and to put it back into some kind of shape for visitors. It's really a beautiful job they did on it. I think it's worth saving, of course, because that's important history. But then if that is important, and I certainly believe it is, then certainly Fort Ord is an important part of our history. And someone once said, I don't know who, those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. I mean, I better shut up before I get in trouble, but I mean, I think you get the point. My army days were important to me. They really molded me in a huge sense about who I am. I think they made me a strong person in lots of ways, and I'm grateful that I had the service, and I'm grateful still to be able to be here, and I'm grateful if you'd even look at this stuff. Okay, so as always, this is Bob Barron saying, hey, have a good rest of your year and a good new year, and celebrate holidays the way you want to. Take care. Bye-bye.